Mukbang time! So I have here prawns, garlic butter prawns, and I have here Lumpiang Shanghai, and then battered fish, and then rice with cauliflower and silver beet, veggies, and my dessert is cake and ano ba to? Minatamis na cassava cake. So, kain tayo! So, yun.
Well, what a day and what a location to go. The Great Southern Ocean is just behind me, and we're sitting at Green's Pools, and it doesn't get much more tranquil and beautiful than this. We're going to do a really nice lamb dish, quick, easy, on the barbie, plus that rhubarb. The rhubarb that we got from the farm, I'm going to use to make a really nice...
You're so too far, don't worry.
Apples going to peel,
The camera will
we're
get
going to
you.
go in our cast iron pan, we're going to make a real nice stewed fruit, top with some crumble. Perfect. Okay, let's do that leaf. It's a massive leaf, eh? And then what I'm going to do is just take the, I guess, sort of nice 1 centimetre discs, I think you call them. Cut them up.
Can I have the thing on?
Rhubarb is done, it's going to down really nicely, get all stewy, but I want to add in a couple apples. It's got the pectin in it, makes it nice and syrupy and delicious. So just peel these guys down, we're going to chop them up about the same size as the rhubarb.
One prawns?
Yeah, don't worry too much
for you.
this because it's all going to stew down. There we go. Apples looking good. I think we're ready to go. So while I've been doing that, I've had the barbecue on pretty high heat, and inside we have a cast iron dish, and that is going to be sort of my pie dish basically. A couple of knobs of butter, and then straight in with the fruit. Oh, perfect. You can see it's quite full, but the cool thing is it's going to stew down, it's going to sweat out, the juices are going to come out. While that's also doing its thing, I'm going to add in a little pinch of cinnamon, just because I love that flavour. Also, a tiny little drizzle of water just to get that process of stewing together. And then basically, we give a little stir, let it sit, and we'll cook that away while we make the crumbles. That's what it smells amazing already, the butter, the fruit, that cinnamon. We've got crumble on the barbecue. How good. But that's it, 20 minutes, stir it every now and again, and we're going to make the crumble. What I do need is a bowl, plus all our dry ingredients, flour, oats, brown sugar, and we've also got some macadamias, which we got from the guys at Orange Tractor. Butter, here it goes. And all I'm going to do is use my fingers and rub that into some plain white flour. So we get that sort of breadcrumby texture, then just using your fingers, rub it all together. That's what we're looking for. See, it's almost like the sand sitting on, nice and crumbly, quite fine, but there's a few chunks of butter in there as well that are just going to...
You're too far on.
Our oats, just simple plain rolled oats.
Why don't you put it here?
Brown sugar, and do that lovely golden colour on top. And then of course, macadamias, Australia's own native nuts. That's going to go in for a real texture, also crunch and hit. It's going to be amazing. We're going to also add a little pinch of cinnamon. We put some in with the rhubarb, but a little bit more won't hurt. And of course, a little pinch of salt, just to offset the sweetness that we have there. Let me just wash my hands and check it out. It just smells so good. I'm very excited. Well, here, that's what we're looking for, bubbling away. Some of the fruit's still quite whole, some of it's really broken down, but I think we're ready to add our crumble. We're going to use a spoon and literally just pour it over the top, and then pile it up and then spread it. It's going to be sandcastle, sort of thin glue down. Okay, this is going to go down. While that's doing its thing, it's time to prepare our lamb. It's salad ready. For the lamb, it's really simple stuff. First thing I'm going to do is make up our marinade. So what I have is some smoked paprika. Good whack of that's going to go in. I also have some garlic powder.
The prawns
a
will
little
be
bit of chili powder. And then also, how good are these? Just going to twist off one of these. We'll use a little bit of the zest just to add some freshness into this marinade. So using your zester, grater or whatever you have at home. Okay. Lemon zest, thank you very much. Pinch of salt, of course. And then we have some Australian extra virgin olive oil, which I'm just going to pour into those dry ingredients. And then using my spoon, I'll just mix them all together and make a really nice sort of paste that's going to rub all over the lamb. Little lamb rub steaks, and these are beautiful, so good for the barbecue, really, really easy to cook. What I've done is I've just had these out for about 20 minutes before we cook, so they come up to sort of room temperature. You don't want to pull them straight out of the fridge and throw them directly on the barbecue because the internal temperature just won't rise correctly, and the outside will just burn. So that looks absolutely awesome. I'm just going to set that aside, and while we're waiting for that to just sit for a minute, this is crumble. Let's see how it's going. I think they'll be ready. Put that there. Oh yeah, oh, it's looking good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take that off, set it aside, get cooking. Okay, the crumble's sitting there, it's keeping warm, and really, it's that simple, nice, roaring hot barbecue on the
You don't
bar.
like it?
Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle.
Really?
That's exactly what we want.
Why?
There we go. Lid goes down. We're going to do about 3-4 minutes each side. Flip them, cook them to your liking. Hopefully a little bit medium rare. It's going to be beautiful. Oh yeah. That is exactly what we're looking for. There's beautiful bar marks. You can still see the marinated colour there. Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yummy one.
Okay. Yes, they're looking epic. I'm just going to pull them off. We'll let them rest. That's a great cut of meat. And while that is just resting, what I'm going to do now is make a really simple cucumber salad. First thing first, we're going to make a dressing. I have some tahini. So that's going to go in. Just a little bit of tahini. Plus, we're using some buttermilk. So I'm just going to throw a tiny little tablespoon of buttermilk in there just to get it started. And then we're going to work that until it becomes a sort of a paste. And then we'll add a little bit more buttermilk, some garlic, some salt, and that's going to be our dressing for the cucumbers. Okay, so that dressing's looking nice. A little bit of chopped garlic is going to go in. Pinch of salt, everyone's favourite. Give it a mix. Set that aside. And then some really nice Lebanese cucumbers. And just basically cut them into quarters. Just pile them on, so toss them around a little bit. Now, dressing, just drizzle it over the top. How good. Almonds that we just roughly chopped. Another little pinch of salt. Some Australian extra virgin olive oil or coriander. There we go, really simple cucumber salad. That lamb which is just cooked perfectly and smells amazing. I think they're going to absolutely love this one. Oh, hey guys, perfect timing.
Lamb rub steak. That's
Guess
yummy.
what? Amazing, yeah. I hope you like this lamb. You're doing great. That's nice. Oh, cheers.
It's yummy.
Cheers, cheers. Let's go. What we have here is an amazing little rhubarb crumble from your garden. But on top, we have a rhubarb and raspberry jam, which I grabbed at the market this morning. Yeah, dive right in.
I really like this one.
Oh, yeah,
From.
pretty cool, mate.
Huh? It's alright.
4:30. Just ahead. On the home stretch, record relaunched as a politician says campaign enters its final week. WHO calls on countries to stop using lockdowns as a primary method of controlling COVID-19. Plus, the code of fish and chips with fuel parts new name sponsor. With 5 days to available, more than 1,150,000 people have already cast advance ballots. That is just shy of the 1,240,000 voted before election day in 2017. But the voting turnout hasn't stopped with politicians from hitting the campaign trail in the final stretch. For Jacinda Ardern, that means another trip to the mall, while Judith Collins at the phones. Alice Wilkins reports.
Despite the record early turnout with 6 days to go, there's still plenty of politicking left to do. Judith Collins was in South Island today, taking to the phones in Christchurch Central.
Hello, I'm Judith Collins speaking. You done all that? You done the voting already? Excellent. Oh, we're on you.
Oh, they're doing that. Scrolling. You're next. Reminding. This one.
With a picture drawn in her likeness, fighting young
Really?
supporter. And
You're doing a hard job, right?
Seriously?
For campaigning.
Following an appropriate check-in visit to Christchurch Communications Company Tate with Deputy Jerry Brownlee was next on the agenda. Collins reiterating National's focus on tech sector. Remember, I think we're the only party who's got a serious tech policy.
But quick to dismiss any suggestion she's going after the source of leaked emails from National MP Denise Lee, criticised Collins for announcing policy without consulting the party first.
No, definitely not. Who do you think that was? Well, somebody who received it.
National still telling voters that the Labour-Green coalition would see a wealth tax introduced.
We're not the ones bringing it up. We're the ones bringing it up. And I don't believe for a moment these guys aren't going to come out and give us money. My only frustration is that the National Party continues to use misinformation in their campaign. My view is that they should be courageous enough to debate real issues, in fact, not fiction.
Just in the Facebook group, Hamilton getting bowled over by one small supporter at the base mall. The Prime Minister drawing a large crowd inside. Earlier, a meeting with community representatives saw Ardern showered with gifts, but also confronted by a group of Waikato farmers who voiced concerns over the timeframe set for crucial policy changes.
Our farming people want us to work together. We have been, but they just don't want certainty. So we do have to make sure that we deliver in both.
With a quick stop at metal manufacturer Longdale to round out the day, the last week of campaigning off to a busy start, despite the more than 1 million who have already made up their minds. Alice Wilkins, News Hub.
The World Health Organization is calling on leaders across the globe to stop using lockdowns as a primary method of controlling COVID-19. Dr. David Navarro from the WHO says such restrictive measures should only be relied on as a last resort to buy government's time and to protect health workers. He says the only thing that lockdowns achieve is poverty and economic destruction.
We really do appeal to all world leaders. Stop using lockdown as your primary control method. Develop better systems for doing it. Lockdowns just have one consequence that you must never ever belittle, and that is making poor people an awful lot poorer.
The WHO has previously warned countries against lifting lockdowns too soon. Donald Trump says he no longer has COVID-19. The White House is yet to confirm whether the president has tested negative for the virus. Despite that, with just 23 days to go, he is making a return to the campaign trail. CBS's Chip Reed reports.
It looks like I'm immune.
In a Fox News interview today and in a tweet about COVID-19, President Trump claimed he got a complete sign-off from White House doctors. That means I can't get it, immune, and can't give it. White House Dr. Sean Conley did say in a letter Saturday night that the president is no longer considered a transmission risk, but he did not mention immunity, and today Twitter flagged the president's tweet saying it violated the Twitter rules about spreading misleading and potentially harmful information related to COVID-19. In another new COVID controversy, Dr. Anthony Fauci today objected to the Trump campaign's use of a quote in a Trump TV ad that suggests he's endorsing the president's handling of the pandemic.
I can imagine that anybody could be doing more.
In a statement today, Fauci said he has never publicly endorsed any candidate and was not endorsing the president's performance. The comments attributed to me without my permission in the GOP campaign ad, Fauci said, were taken out of context from a broad statement I made months ago about the efforts of federal public health officials. A Trump spokesman responded in part, the words spoken are accurate and directly from Dr. Fauci's mouth. The president today again posted about his handling of the coronavirus.
We lost 200,000 plus, and, there are those that say we did a phenomenal job.
But a new CBS News Battleground Tracker poll found that likely voters in Michigan, Nevada, and Iowa think former Vice President Joe Biden would better handle the coronavirus outbreak. And majorities of likely voters in all 3 states say President Trump handled contracting the virus irresponsibly. On Fox today, the president also fired a deeply personal attack at Biden.
He's against God.
At the very moment Trump said that, the devout Catholic Biden was attending Mass in his hometown of Wilmington, Delaware. Both candidates are hitting the campaign trail this week. President Trump will be in Florida, Pennsylvania, and Iowa. Joe Biden will be in Ohio and Pennsylvania, with more states to be announced.
Australian researchers may have some bad news for Trump. They've found there is no guarantee that people who've had coronavirus won't catch it again, and that immunity may only last a few months. As Dale Rippon from Channel 7 explains. Fighting off coronavirus is something Andrew Clark and Leah Woods never want to do again.
You can't go through it once and you think to yourself, I just couldn't do this again.
Well, very bad and having a so it's pretty long 5 days and it's good to be in that again.
But experts say reinfection can occur.
Don't think just because you've had it, you're going to have lifelong immunity.
It's been revealed protection from the virus may only last a few months.
Is it lifelong immunity like we see to measles? Well, we think that's pretty unlikely.
But there's hope in some cases the body may remember the virus and fight it off.
We don't need 100% protection or 100% immunity for it to work.
Immunity will become lower, but it'll be there. People may not even realise that they've been infected because the immune system can react so quickly.
Researchers now want to recruit 300 former coronavirus patients and their close contacts to monitor their immune response over the next 12 months. It's hoped that will give them a greater insight into how often a future vaccine needs to be taken.
Hopefully, we can get a vaccine and then people can go through this movement.
COVID cases are continuing to rise across the world, including in the US, Europe and Southeast Asia, while India has now topped 7 million infections. Elizabeth Palmer of CBS reports.
COVID's second wave has hit France and French hospitals hardest, with about 26,000 new infections on Saturday, more even than in the spring. In big cities, including Paris, bars are completely shut, though restaurants are still open, at least for now. Here in Britain and in Europe, with infection rates on the rise, governments are desperate to come up with some new strategies to avoid the return of those strict national lockdowns, which were so damaging to the economies. But even local measures, like a curfew in Berlin for the first time in 70 years, or a widespread shutdown of Scottish pubs, is devastating for business and is bound to bring even more unemployment.
Most of my friends are angry at the whole thing. I mean, they feel that they're penalised.
India reported fewer coronavirus infections last week than Europe, but it is still battling a colossal outbreak. It's the only country besides the US to have had more than 7 million cases and currently has the highest daily death rate on the planet. At the other extreme is North Korea. Well, that is if you believe its leader, Kim Jong-un. He staged a military extravaganza on Saturday and announced the country had not one single case of COVID. Then he offered his condolences to the rest of the world. The White
white supremacist has had charge of breaching his bail conditions dismissed in the Christchurch District Court. Philip Arps was accused of going at Christchurch Mosque during the March 15 gunman sentencing. The charges were later withdrawn. Arps saluted the judge and marched out of court following today's hearing. Eden Park will be known as Cooper's Catch Park for this week's Visitors Cup encounter between the All Blacks and the Wallabies. Kaikoura Fish and Chip Shop Cooper's Catch has won the naming rights for 7 days as part of a promotion by ASB. It's hoped the initiative will inspire other small businesses that are doing it tough around the country and also the All Blacks who haven't lost to Australia at the Auckland venue since 1986.
I think the fact that they're playing at Cooper's Catch Park, world first, I think it'll give them a bit of extra energy and spur them on as they realise that the whole country's behind them.
Eden Park's chief executive says this is a one-off promotion and they don't intend to sell the naming rights again. Another's worst nightmare, her car stolen from the driveway with his 7-year-old son asleep on the back seat. And how is this for a testing time? The woman who gave birth during a law exam.
Tonight, the project is at 7, and as a family that goes together, stay together. It's the shift vineyard on all new Grand Design Team Z. Then a dream job falls into the game's laps, and all new West Side. It's all good on 3.
Roger deserves the best. He loves the taste of Blackhawk. And his high-quality meat and real ingredients means one small bowl gives him everything he needs. Show your care. Feed the road.
Blackhawk, every ingredient matters.
When it matters most, we choose to do things together. So how well do you know the people doing this work? Generate Kiwi Center. It only takes a few minutes to find out why tens of thousands of Kiwis are joining us, investing together.
KFC? Yeah, it's good.
KFC's in the sector is the perfect burn.
Apat na lang natin ang hindi na kaya. So, mag-serve tayo.
By calling One Choice today, 800-895-023 or visit onechoice.com.
What is your daughter searching for? The Dove Self-Esteem Project teaches girls how to find greater self-esteem. Join us to help reach 32,000 Kiwi kids to achieve their potential.
This week, the countdown to the election is on. We've got some familiar faces. Helen Clark, Jacinda Ardern.
So, that's it, guys.